Good afternoon, everyone. It is Tuesday at 2. I'm just trying to lift my chair up a little bit. I feel like you would just be seeing ahead. How is everyone? I know it takes a few minutes for people to log on, so I'll just introduce myself quickly for those of you that are new. My name is Genevieve Coe, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have been for over 12 years. And you can always find me on my website, genevieve.stampinup.net, or visit my blog at stampinforfun.ca. So we are at the start of a brand new month. And what does that mean? It means there's a new product of the month that I'll be showcasing all month. Every week on my Tuesday at 2 videos, I'll be showcasing the same product. So you'll get to see the same product being used in different ways. So if you're just joining in or it's your first time watching Tuesday at 2, make sure to say hi so that I know you're there. It always feels more fun to share stamping when I know there's people watching. I love your comments. I love reading them. It just brightens my day. So I just like to share stamping. I hope that I'll inspire you. And it's also a way for me to share the news in the Stampin' for Fun Craft Cave and what's going on with my business. So just last night, we had a technique class. So technique class is a class that I do once a month on the first Monday of every month. And the cards are always a little bit fancy. So they're not the standard sweet and simple kind of card. They're usually step up, fancier, either more embellishments, fancy folds, something like that. So for those of you that came out, it was awesome to stamp with you. For those that didn't come out or you live too far away, hopefully you saw some of the things that we made. Last week was the last week of showcasing the From My Heart Designer Series paper, and I did sort of a fancy gatefold card with it. So I took that same idea and we made one of those fancy gatefold cards. Let me see. My craft cave is still completely messy from last night, so let me see if I can find some of the cards that we made. Here's one of them. So again, it's using exactly the same technique that I showed on the Tuesday at 2 video last week. It's using the same technique, just with a different stamp set and with different paper. Okay, and so this is fun because it uses the, let me get the stamp sets to show you here. Are they in here? I think so. Hi, Donna. Okay, so it's the honeybee stamp set that we used on this card. And the fun thing is, when you get the honeybee stamp set with the coordinating dies, see, isn't it fun that the dies cut out the honeybee? They have dies that cut out the hive and everything too. But when you purchase those things, you can get this Golden Honey Designer Series paper absolutely free. So you don't have to buy the bundle to get the paper free. Any $60 order will get you the Golden Honey Designer Series paper free. But see, this was one of the cards we made yesterday at technique class. And of course there's a little belly band so that you can, it doesn't pop open when you're sending it in the mail or giving it to someone. Let me show you the other ones. I'm gonna run and get them so that you can see. So my original idea was that it would be a fancy gatefold class yesterday. So this was the other card that we did. Look at that. Isn't that fun? We could use it for Valentine's Day. It could be used for Mother's Day. It could be used for any friend that loves tea. Or if you want to take a friend out to tea and give them this card. It's just so pretty and feminine. And so we did that card at my technique class. And then it was supposed to be a fancy fold, fancy gatefold technique class theme. But I saw this. Some of you may have seen it. It was one of the demos that one of the demonstrators did at our demonstrator event on stage. But when I saw it, I loved it so much I had to do it. It's like a dresser. Isn't that fun? Can you kind of see? It's like a vanity. And then the card, in case you're thinking that it doesn't go into the mail, it does, because this little piece just pops up, kind of the dresser part, and it folds so that it can go into an envelope. Isn't that neat? But then it stands up. And then one of the girls at the class yesterday was saying that it would be great. You just have to kind of change up the little pieces, and you could make it like a man's work table, workstation, anything like that. It doesn't have to just be a dresser, right? But just because we used the well-dressed paper there to kind of glam it up, it looks like a woman's dresser, but no reason you couldn't do other things. So that is what we did in technique class yesterday. I thought I would just share those samples with you, because technique class happens once a month on the first Monday of the month, and anybody who enjoys stamping, they typically love technique class because you're making something a little different, a little fancy to really wow your friends and your family. Okay, so who's joined in? I see more have finally joined in. I know it takes a little bit of time to find the feed. Make sure to say hello so that I know you're there. And are you guys curious? Last week I said that I would be taking a vote as to what the product of the month would be in February. So I had suggested I would be interested in doing either the Power of Hope bundle or the Beautiful Moments bundle, and to vote in the comments. And so I think it was yesterday morning, I went and read all the comments and checked and tried to count up the votes. And would you believe it? Like the votes were tied. It was actually tied between Power of Hope and Beautiful Moments. And so, hi May, hi Carol. So because there was a tie, I just asked some of my technique class girls when they came to class that night, I said, which one do you want to do? What should I make my product of the month? So Beautiful Moments won out as the product of the month. So all month in February, I will be doing projects using this stamp set. And it's a beautiful stamp set. The reason why I wanted you guys to vote was because both of those stamp sets, the Power of Hope and as well as Beautiful Moments, I love them, but I haven't had a chance to ink them up very much. So I thought it would give me an excuse to play and use them. So we're going to go with Beautiful Moments. And just so you know, since January's in the past now, we're doing February. I do have a February online ordering special. So any orders $50 or more in February will get you a brand new package. This is a used package, a brand new package of the gold faceted gems. Okay, and don't forget, try to bump up your order to $60 because then you'll get a free celebration item from Stampin' Up. So that's like 2 freebies when you order online with me this month in February. Oh, hi Paulette. I'm glad you caught me live too. I love talking to people live. Okay, so why don't we get to it and get to the stamping using our new product of the month, Beautiful Moments. I love it when you tune in live. So if you can remember, it's always Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Stampin' for Fun, Jen Stampin' for Fun Facebook page. Okay, let's see if we can flip the camera around, and I'm excited to show you our project for this week. Let's see. I'm always nervous. I'm going to drop the phone. Something super scary here. I am excited that Facebook seems to have fixed the little glitch, and so I don't look like I'm in a fishbowl anymore, and we can do it landscape so you can see everything there. Let's see if we can get some lighting going here. Oh, my light seems to be not working today. Why is that? Let's see. That's because I didn't plug it in properly. That would do it. If you don't plug it in properly, you won't get a light working. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, hi Tracy, all the way from Ottawa. How's the weather out there in Ottawa? So this is the stamp set. I'm going to give you a little bit of a closer look here so you can see the images. One thing that caught my eye about this stamp set is that the line images are so soft and just very beautiful. And then the other thing that caught me about this set is that it doesn't just have images, it also has words. Isn't that great? Okay, so let me get my glasses out here. So whenever a set has words and images, I just feel like I'm getting more bang for the buck because sometimes you don't have to move outside of a stamp set to complete a card because you've got words and sentiments. Okay, so that's our product of the month this month. And I'm just trying to decide what route I should go. Maybe I'll just start by stamping the image and keep you in suspense about what the project is, because we love suspense, right? This is the level of suspense I can handle at my age. Okay, so I am using sort of the, I want to say mother and daughter, but it doesn't have to be mother-daughter. It could be aunt and niece. It could be big sister, little sister, but sort of an older girl and a younger girl. I'm using that image. I've mounted it onto an E block here. Having the right size block helps a lot with the stamping, I find, because I don't make as many mistakes when I have the right size block. If a block is too big for an image, I find I end up with like funny ink splotches on my project that I didn't mean to get because it got on the block or something. So I'm just stamping it with black Memento ink right in the center of my 4x4 Whisper White cardstock. Okay, look at that. Oh, I love stamping. Okay, it makes me just happy to see that. And then I'm just going to add the little bird images that are there. So again, this one's on an A block here, and we'll just put the little birds there. Okay, and then what we'll do, I know with this set, I think all month you're probably going to see some different coloring options, because this set, it doesn't have to be colored. It looks gorgeous the way it is, but it kind of calls out for a bit of color. So I am going to add some color here. I think what I'll do is we're going to use the blends. So let's pick out which blends we'd like to use here and see what we got going. Some of the Pool Party, Purple Posy, the Ivory, maybe some Smoky Slate, and some Crumb Cake. Okay, so the blends do come in light and dark version, but I think for today's coloring I just grabbed whichever one. That's what I love about the blends. They've actually fast become one of my favorite coloring tools because they're so easy to use. Okay, so all I do is just go in a bit of a circular motion. Oh, I should have let the ink dry a little bit more. We're getting a little bit of bleeding from the black Memento ink. What would have been good, if I wanted to rush it, I could have heat dried it. Okay, so maybe I'll actually let it dry a bit more. You know what? I'm not even using Whisper White cardstock. That's my problem. Can you believe? Okay, this is a joke and a half. Okay, look. I'm holding it up and I'm thinking something's funny about this cardstock and the ink is bleeding. Okay, look what I cut. Instead of cutting Whisper White paper, I cut one of my postcards. Isn't that ridiculous? It's one of my promotional postcards for my Stampin' for Fun club. Anyway, so you guys can all see what the perks of membership are, that you get all these perks when you're one of my Stampin' for Fun club members. But that's why it's not, it felt funny when I was coloring, it felt funny when I was stamping. It's because it's not Whisper White paper. So let's just toss that aside and let's actually use Whisper White paper, and that might help us out here. Okay, that's how you know how crazy it is in my craft cave. I don't even know what I'm cutting. Just cut up one of my little promotional postcards thinking it was Whisper White paper. Obviously I was not paying attention, because there's a totally huge big difference between a postcard and our Whisper White paper. So obviously I was rushing, because even the texture, like our Whisper White cardstock is so smooth. Hi Diane. Yeah, you're right Tracy, I'm keeping it real here in the craft cave. Okay, so let's cut it at 4 inches by 4 inches. That's what I want. I think I'm keeping you guys in suspense about what the actual project is going to be and look like. I thought I'd just dive right in and go to the product of the month and use the stamp set. Okay, now I think we're going to go a little better. I was thinking, why is the ink bleeding so much when I'm coloring? Haha. Anyway, you learn as you go, as Tracy says, totally keeping it real. Okay, let's start all over again. Let's stamp our beautiful image using our beautiful moments. And don't forget, I've got my website right here. Just a reminder that with every $50 order this month, online order using that host code, you'll get a brand new pack of gold rhinestones because a woman cannot have too much bling in their life. Okay, let's try again. Take two. Okay, so we are going to give that a little bit of time to dry because my ink pad is pretty juicy. I'm using the black Memento ink. So Stampin' Up! Has recommended that our Tuxedo Black ink is the ink to use when we are using the blends markers. So it must have something to do with a chemical reaction or whatever. Oh yeah, Sherry, I love our new trimmer too. It's funny, wasn't that excited about it. I thought, well, it's just like our other trimmer, but it's actually a lot smoother. The blade runs a lot smoother. Okay, so hopefully that's a bit better. Let's try again. Let's see if that dried. I may actually, what I do is I run my heat tool, and on our heat tool we have two settings, an extra high and kind of a drying setting. So when I'm heat embossing, I put it on level 2. I don't know if you can see the numbers, but there's a 2 and a 1 and a 0. So I'm just going to put it on 1 to dry it a bit before I use the blends marker. I'm trying to get like just a clean color if I can. Okay, but if not, you know, it's handmade, it's okay. Okay, so let's try again. Let's see if it colors a little better. I am using Purple Posy. Okay, and I like to go in a bit of a circular motion. Yeah, this is working a bit better than the back of a postcard. Okay, I don't know whether you're getting my head in here. I've kind of crouched down a bit so I can get a little closer to color. Okay, and if I want a little bit of extra highlighting around the seam, I just go over it a little bit extra here. Okay, so the great thing about the blends markers is that they're very easy to use. Okay, very easy, and they give a smooth finish. Okay, so let's quickly color up the rest. This is the dark pool party. Now with our blends markers, you have to make sure that the lid is on very tightly because they're alcohol based. They will dry out quickly if you do not put the lid on. Okay, so you only have the lid off when you are using it. Other than that, you should make sure that the lid is capped and it's capped tightly. Okay, so I'm just doing the mom's dress here in the pool party dark. And the reason why I'm using pool party dark is all my pool party light is still, hasn't been put away after technique class, so it's in a bucket on a table behind me and I didn't want to go digging for it. Okay, but again, if you want extra color with these blends markers, you just go over it again. You just kind of go over it again and it'll give a little bit of extra shadowing. Okay? Okay, hi Sarah. Okay, so let's, I'm just using the smoky slate on the hair because we could have sort of darker hair, but of course you could make the hair whatever color you would like. Okay, and then for the skin tone, I decided to use the ivory, but again, just like in real life, skin tones are all different colors, so you don't have to get the ivory to do skin tone. You could get whatever, a petal pink sometimes is very nice, or some of the crumb cake colors are very nice for skin tone. So there's no absolute right or wrong for skin tone, but I'm using the ivory here for the skin tone. Okay, so the blends markers, very fast, very easy, they dry very quickly. Okay, so I'm just quickly doing a bit of coloring. I'm not doing too much shading, just for the sake of time, but I like how smooth the blends marker goes on. Very smooth. Okay, let me hold it up for you so that you can see. Okay, so just adding a bit of color, it really jazzes. Oh, I missed this girl's neck here. I'm just going to get the back of her neck. Okay. And then I notice it's like they're walking in sand. See, they don't have shoes or anything. So I'm just going to use the crumb cake to kind of highlight the sandy portion here. Okay. Bring some contrast, a sense of grounding to the photo. Okay, and I'm also going to stamp the birds like I did in the other ones. So I can't wait to show you today's project. Can't wait. Can't wait. Okay, let me do the little birdies here. Okay, so the Beautiful Moments stamp set is in the new mini catalog. I believe it's $30 Canadian. So if I just love the soft images. So if it catches your eye as well, just head to my website there and you can order it. Okay, so there's our little image. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it onto a basic gray piece of cardstock, 4¼ inches by 4¼ inches. I think I put away my snail. Let me just get it out here. Okay, so we'll get the snail and we'll put it on. And you're wondering, where are we going with this? You're going to find out very soon where we're going with this. Okay, so I'll tell you the story behind this project today. Because I fell into paper crafting, not through card making, but I fell into paper crafting through scrapbooking. Because I had one of my first, well, I guess, yeah, when I was pregnant with my oldest son, I had placenta previa, and so that meant that I could have, I guess it could have been dangerous if the placenta was so low and could cause bleeding and everything. So I was actually put on hospital bed rest really early on. I can't remember how many weeks I was, but I was in the hospital for quite a while. So I started like keeping all my ultrasound pictures, gluing them into a book, doing all sorts of things. I didn't know that was really kind of like scrapbooking. But what scrapbooking is it's like a form of memory keeping. And so I loved it. I loved scrapbooking. I started doing it once I found out there was actually a name to it. And I just loved preserving my family's photos and remembering the things we did together as a family. So today's project is actually a scrapbook layout. I'm using our 12 by 12 Whisper White. Okay. And so we'll start with the left-hand page. I'm using our gorgeous Designer Series paper. Let me show you where it's from. Okay, it's this Designer Series paper here, the Parisian Blossom Specialty Designer Series paper. I thought the colors and the softness and everything worked really well with this stamp set. Okay, so that's why I decided to use it for the scrapbook layout today. And then this piece of DSP is, I think, 10 inches by 9 inches. Okay, so it's 10 inches this way and 9 inches this way. So if you've never done scrapbooking before, all it is really just like a really giant card in a way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on. And our adhesive, snail adhesive, is great for scrapbooking because it is acid-free. So it just helps preserve, helps it to last longer. Okay, so we've got our beautiful, look, this paper even has foil accents in it. It's so gorgeous. Okay, and then I'm going to take a 10-inch by 1/2 inch piece of basic gray. And then this here is also 10 inches by 1½ inches. Okay, so maybe I'll put this kind of like that. Okay, something like that. Let's do that. So again, this is, got the foil accents, the same Designer Series paper there. Okay. And I had just recently decided that I was very mad that I've gotten a little bit away from my scrapbooking because last year there were so many momentous occasions in our family. My daughter and my younger son, they got baptized, and my daughter graduated from elementary school. My oldest son graduated from high school. There were so many, oh, this is a little crooked, but anyway, okay, so there we go. And so I was like, no, I can't let these moments pass without scrapbooking them. So I'm kind of doing two things here. I am sharing my stamping with you, which I love to do, but I'm also doing a scrapbook layout for my family because my daughter just had her 15th birthday yesterday, and I thought, you know what, if I could just scrapbook what happened, not yesterday, this weekend, on Sunday was her birthday. If I could just scrapbook what happened on the weekend, then at least, I got something done. So this is another piece of the same Designer Series paper. A lot of scrapbook layouts do this, where they kind of tie one page to the next page. See how I'm doing that? So again, this is, I believe, 2 inches wide by 10 inches. So I'm gonna stick this down. So this is the second half. So what you have to do is kind of put it here, and then we'll just match it right up, okay? So that we've got kind of the same, well, it would have been better if I'd actually gotten the same piece, but anyway, okay, so there we go. And then I'm using this piece, again, the same pack of DSP, but because we've got double-sided, I can use the other side here. Okay, and then let me see, I'll give you the measurements if you want them. I kind of cut it ahead of time. So it's 9 inches by 8 inches. 9 inches by 8 inches. Okay, so we'll put this up here. Okay, whoops. There we go. So it's almost like a giant card, really. For those of you who are card makers, you might feel intimidated by scrapbooking, but I don't think you should. Because it's a wonderful excuse to use up the gorgeous designer series paper, first of all. Here we go. And then it's another way to kind of really preserve. I think a lot of people keep a lot of pictures on their phone, but it never gets off your phone for other people to see. And scrapbooking allows you to really share those moments. My kids love looking at my scrapbook pages, and they love looking at you know, remembering the memories of our family. I'm just trying to think which way I want to do this. I think I'll do it like this. So again, same piece of paper, just the other side. This is 12 inches by 1 inch. I'm going to grab my scissors. I'll put a little flag here to add some interest. Okay. So I just flag it by kind of doing a slice in the center and then side to side. Okay. There we go. Okay, can you guys see this scrapbook layout coming to life? I have to get my pictures from this weekend printed out, but I'll be all ready. As soon as they're printed out, I'm going to stick them right on here. There, okay? Can you see that? Okay, I'm so excited. And so what I like to do is I like to make mats for my photos. Okay, so this is already 4 inches by 6 inches. I think that's the common size for photographs. And then this is the mat 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay, so once I get the pictures developed, I can just drop them in here. Can you see that? Maybe it'll be something like this. Let's see, let me lay it out first, see how I like it. Let me see, maybe move this over a bit. Okay, another one here. I can do this a little lower. Okay, so once I get the pictures developed, I can just drop them in. Okay, so let's glue those down. Okay, so that's why I chose this image, because I can't believe my little girl is 15. I was already like, oh my gosh, you're 15. Next year you'll be learning to drive, and then after that she'll be leaving home and going to school somewhere probably. Kind of crazy how fast they grow up, which is even more reason why I was desperate to do some scrapbooking. So I thought you guys might really enjoy seeing a scrapbook layout using the Beautiful Moments stamp set. And because it has such beautiful font and sentiments in that stamp set, I think there's one that says, "You are a blessing to me," or something like that. I thought it'd be perfect for her birthday. For her birthday photos, even though we didn't take too many. She actually is a little bit camera shy now, my daughter, which is funny because she used to love to be the star of the camera when she was a toddler, but that's what happens when you become a teenager. You become a totally foreign creature, unknown to your parents. I'm sure some of you have experienced that before. Some of you more experienced parents can probably give me some pointers about having teenagers. Okay, so I'll offset that a little bit. I'm so excited. So as soon as I get the pictures developed, we'll be ready to rumble. I'll have this layout all ready. Okay, and then I'm going to do a little bit of stamping here and a few other. So the one thing about scrapbook layouts, but a lot of times with cards too, you can keep it super simple and just do, you know, just have the paper and have a spot for the photos. That's great and easy, but sometimes you like to jazz it up a bit, right? And so that's where the stamping and the color, they come into effect. So I cut this already, but haha, I caught myself this time. There's the other part of it. There's the other part of it. If you guys just joined in, you missed the beginning where I was like, how come it feels funny when I'm stamping and the colors are not, the ink is bleeding? And then I realized I didn't stamp on Whisper White paper. I stamped on one of my promotional postcards. Okay, so let me just get the measurement and we'll do it properly on Whisper White. So it's 1.5 inches by 4 inches. Whisper White, let's find you and we'll cut you up. Okay, so 1.5 inches by 4 inches. Do you frame it or do I put it in a binder separate? Okay, that's a great question. I put it into a binder. Stampin' Up! Has a scrapbook album. Remind me when I am done doing this layout to grab my scrapbook to show you. I want to show you guys the layouts that I already have done so that you can see. Okay. So Stampin' Up! Has the page protector, so these things would go into a page protector, and then it protects it. Because a huge thing about scrapbooking is you want to protect it so that generations down the road can still see the photos. Okay, so I'm using the what does it say? Your somebody's blessing. I thought that'd be perfect. Because I'm always trying to tell my daughter. I don't know whether she has middle child syndrome. I don't know whether sometimes she just acts like she's looking to get attention, you know? So I just want her to know she is a blessing to us. This whole scrapbook page is going to be about her. And if that doesn't show love, what does, really? Okay, so, and then I'm using these flower images from the stamp set. Thanks, Kay. Oh, great to see you hop on. My buddy Kay from Newfoundland. Okay, so we'll put that there. Okay, and then what I'll do is stick that on. We'll mat that onto the basic gray. And how I get my color combo is I take my cue from the designer series paper, right? So there look to be some gray in here, some pool party. Okay, and you know, I would have used petal pink in my flowers, but they're still in my bucket from technique class. So I'm gonna just use, again, some purple posy, so then it'll kind of match up with the girl's dress over here. Okay, so let me just, I'm not coloring right in, I'm letting it bleed out a bit. It gives kind of a watercolor effect. But I am going to use some of this gorgeous petal pink ribbon that's part of the same Parisian suite here. And we'll just cut a piece. And we'll tape it at the back here. Okay, let me see if I have my tape. Scotch tape. Thanks, Ashley. Are you feeling inspired to scrapbook? I know Ashley has scrapbooked with me before. Sometimes it's fun to make cards because they're fast and easy. They can be quick and easy. But there's something so special about scrapbooking where you can just highlight your life. So much joy in life. We have to document it. We have to put it somewhere so we can celebrate, so generations after us can celebrate. So many beautiful things. Okay, so I'm just taking an extra piece of ribbon and knotting it right here. Okay, there we go. So this will be like a little embellishment on our scrapbook page. Okay, I'll grab a few of the dimensionals off my board here. I'm running low on dimensionals. Okay, so I'll just put that on the back. I already asked my husband. I have a little mini printer, photo printer at home, so I may actually just end up using that. Okay, see? Okay, I don't know. Hi, Shelly. I don't know. Can you see the whole layout there? But I'm not done. I know this video is going longer today. I'm going to use I'm just using some Whisper White paper. And then I'm using like our medium daisy punch, or I think it's called the medium daisy punch. And I'm going to punch out a few of the little daisies. Okay. So I think I'll punch out 4 of them. There we go. Okay. And then I've got my little sponge, and I'm going to use the petal pink ink. And let me just move this out of the way. Sorry, the 12 by 12 scrapbook pages do kind of take up a bunch of room. So it's funny because at technique class yesterday, someone was saying to me, do you know how to scrapbook? And I was like, oh, how far I have fallen here. I must not have talked about scrapbooking for a while because my class members don't even know that I scrapbook and that I got into paper crafting from scrapbooking and that I love scrapbooking and why don't I do it more? And so, I mean, I used to have like a scrapbooking club where people would come and each month they would make 3 scrapbook pages. And so at the end of the club term, at the end of 10 months, they would have a whole album and all they'd have to do is just drop their photos into it. So I think I should do a scrapbooking class, but I think the times when I did it, it's not like I got a ton of responses. So it just sort of fell off the wagon or something. So but now I'm like, oh man, I really have to scrapbook. So I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll do another scrapbooking club, or if you have some suggestions on how you'd like to scrapbook with me, let me know. I could do like an online thing where if you sign up, then I'll email you the scrapbook layouts. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but all I know is I can't let scrapbooking not be a part of what I do because I love it so much. I'm just using glue dots to kind of put those daisies together. Okay, and I'm just kind of fluffing the petals a bit. Okay, so there we go. And of course, we're going to use that. It looks naked like that, the daisy, right? So we need one of these gold faceted gems. So just a reminder, you get these gems free with any online order, $50 or more using the host code this month. So this is my February online ordering special. Just go to genevieve.stampinup.net. You can click the shop now button. And then, yeah, we need more. I always like to have things kind of balanced. So we'll sponge another one of the daisies and we'll put it on the other side. And then I'll show you, somebody was asking like what I do with these pages. So I'll show you how it goes into the album. Okay, so but I'm sponging some of the petal pink just to add a little bit of color. But it's not as like strong as if I could have used petal pink paper, but I don't know. I like the soft white. So let's see if we can get this daisy looking a little healthier than the other daisy. It's visual perceptual skills, you know, to kind of get these daisy petals in between each other. Okay, maybe that's a little better. Kind of crunch it up a little bit. Okay, how many of you guys out there do scrapbooking? I see Gunjan has said she's been wanting to try scrapbooking, but it feels daunting. Yeah, sometimes people have that feeling, but just like card making, there's scrapbook layouts. Maybe I'll put it here. Scrapbook layouts on Pinterest too, so that you can kind of, I never copy them exactly. For some reason, like cards, when you see them on Pinterest, I feel like I could copy them exactly, but scrapbook layouts, I always end up changing it and giving, I totally did that right off the camera. But anyway, that's where I put it. I don't know. I'll show you guys after, but this is what it looks like. And so all I have to do, oh, you're like me, Shelley. Yeah, I started with scrapbooking and then I kind of did more cards, but I really want to do more scrapbooking because it's just such a beautiful thing. So all I have to do now is drop in the photos and I will have a memory of my daughter's birthday celebrations this past weekend. So the other big thing that I didn't really highlight here is when you're doing scrapbooking, you need to journal. You need to like write things. So even at the very least, I'm going to write the date somewhere here. I'll probably write, maybe a few of the gifts that she got, because that's part of the memories. The photos in and of themselves are not enough. You need to have the journaling. Oh, Ashley, I'm so proud of you. You're going to make a baby book. Good, good. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so that is how I used our product of the month this week. Beautiful moments. Okay, so let me show you, since you guys seem to be kind of curious about scrapbooking, which is making me even more excited about the idea of doing something. Okay, let's see what I got here. I just did some recently. Okay, here, I don't know. I'll give you the swap card to look at while I go and run and see if I can find my album. There we go. Okay, because I was just like, I literally printed like 256 photos or something, because I am determined to get back into my scrapbooking. So a few Wednesdays ago, I usually try to take Wednesdays off from my stamping work. I did some scrapbooking here. Well, speaking of my daughter, here. See, I have all sorts of photos. I don't know if you can see them here. I don't know if you guys remember that old stamp set. It's hard to see, eh? I wonder if maybe I'll take this off. Does it help if I go higher up? Can you see it better? Let's see. Okay, so there you go. So Stampin' Up! Does sell the clear pockets that they go into. This is a Stampin' Up! Album. I think their new version's a little bit different, but it's the same style. It's a binder album, so you can easily change up the pages. This, I was using some Memories and More pieces from an old kit. It's my son's birthday. Okay, so this is all... Oh, that was the time I tried an Amazing Race thing with my kids. One March break. Okay, I'll show you the more recent ones. Oh, here we go. This is using some current product here. This is the new Magnolia. Well, it's not new anymore. It came out in June, right? The Magnolia stamp set. This layout was from one of my team members, Chris Carmichael. Right? But see, you've got the gorgeous Magnolia paper. But see how I managed to make sure I put in some journaling? So that this was getting ready for my daughter's graduation, getting her hair done and everything. So I know a few years from now she's going to love looking at these. Okay, see that? I always put the journaling. This is our peacock paper, right? And sometimes it's not complicated. It's just putting a mat around the photos. Okay, there you go. Oh, here's some of the dies, the fancy peacock dies there. All of these. Chris, well, this one, I think. Is that as far as we got? Yeah. Yep. Okay, let me turn around so I can, let me get rid of this album here. Put this back on here so that you guys can see what's going on. Sorry. Hope I'm not making you dizzy with my... Okay, let me move this out of the way. So now we learned a little bit about scrapbooking today. Maybe I'll do more scrapbooking for you guys. Inspire you guys. Okay. Okay. Get this out of the way. Okay. So just a quick reminder, I will flip the camera around so I can say a proper goodbye, but make sure you tune in every week, Tuesday around 2 p.m., and I'll be showing a different project next week using the Beautiful Moments stamp set. Speaking of this stamp set, it's great that I can show you a new project every week, Tuesday at 2 for the month of February. This is what I'm going to be showing off. But I've also decided, as I was playing with it, is that I'm going to run a class. So the last Wednesday in April, I'll be doing a Beautiful Moments class. You can take it to go, or you can come in person in Markham. It'll be 8 cards and 2 of 4 different designs. So mark the date in your calendar, or let me know if you want the take it to go version. And we can do that. Okay, so that's the product of the month. Let me flip the camera around so I can say a proper farewell. And then, of course, if there's anything you need, you know where to go, genevieve.stampinup.net. And when you use that host code, you get a brand new package of the gold faceted gems, just with any order $60 or more. Okay, let me flip this around here. Okay, so we are into the final, well, I guess it's not the final. We're kind of in the middle, hot into Celebration. So hopefully if you've been following me, you'll know Celebration is a big deal. You get free stamp sets or free paper. And then if you want to join my team and take advantage of that, I would love to have you. It's only $135, no tax, no shipping, and you get to choose $165 worth of things, plus a free stamp set of your choice, plus a little mini paper trimmer, plus a paper pumpkin, plus a little DSP sampler pack. So it's an amazing deal. So thanks for tuning in this week for Tuesday at 2, and we'll see you next week, and you'll get to see what I create next week. Thanks for joining in. Bye for now.